Welcome to the AW Services YouTube channel. This video is about 12-volt vehicle electronics, specifically aimed at the water-fed pole window cleaning industry. This video doesn't really show much, it's more of me waffling, so tag along, listen to what I've got to say because it might help you. I've had a few questions on previous videos from people regarding DIY installations of water-fed pole pump controllers. Maybe that be a Spring V16 or a shurflo water pump to facilitate the movement of water for your water-fed pole. But people don't seem to understand the basics and the simplicity in 12 volts, but also there is a degree of safety that has to be taken because you could be dealing with high currents. So let me clear a few things up which may help and paint a better picture. So with your vehicle, you've got your 12 volt battery that's in your engine bay, which powers your van. You cannot just use your 12 volt starter battery in your van to power your water fed pole pump system, because if you flatten that battery, you can't get home from work and you can't get to work. Using a shurflo pump all day long is going to deplete the life of that battery, and that battery you need to run your vehicle. That's why, as a standard practice within the industry, we install a secondary battery, which is normally a lead acid leisure battery, or you could use a lot more of the new lithium polymer batteries that are on the market, but you need to use and factor in redundancy. So starter battery, and then in the bulk, behind the bulkhead of your van, in your work area of your van, you're going to have a leisure battery. That leisure battery purely is there to power your additional 12 volt systems, such as your spring pump controller, your shurflo water pump, and any additional equipment that you wish to use, like beacons and lighting, so that you can work safely, efficiently, but then you can also get home and not flatten and knacker up your vehicle's starter battery, if that makes sense. And then secondary to that, you will also need some form of charging system. So while I'm fumbling around and wobbling my camera, I'm trying to show you something as a means of demonstration. So with your battery, your leisure battery, you're going to need a charging system. This may help you. If you have a van that's older, for example, than a 2016 model, mine is a 2016 Renault Traffic Business. It's a 16 plate. I do not have an AdBlue tank. So if your van doesn't run on AdBlue and it's not Euro 6, it won't have a smart alternator. That's pretty much the standard that I've worked out. So being that my van is a 2016, it has a standard alternator that whacks out about 14 volts. So with your vehicle's starter battery, we'll always refer to the battery in your vehicle as your vehicle's starter battery. You will then need to take a 16mm squared positive thick battery cable with the correct crimped terminals from your battery. I would recommend you use a fuse then in your battery compartment, a MIDI or a maxi fuse. You need to run your cable through your bulkhead. In a Renault Traffic, you do that through the same grommet behind the firewall where the bonnet release cable comes through. There are videos in my playlists. If you look at the playlist from Renault Traffic or vehicle related, you'll find that. Then it comes into the cab, it goes up the A-pillar, through the ceiling lining, down the door pillar, which is there, and then it comes underneath my twin passenger seats. I then have my favourite polypropylene plastic substrate thus being a Tesco's basic chopping board, which is screwed to the steel work of the seat base. That acts as an insulation material. And then for my application and purposes, I have a Durite 140 amp 12 volt split charge relay system. So that's an automatic smart relay basically. And what happens with that, when my vehicle starter battery is fully charged, it basically opens a switch or turns the tap on, and then the 12 volts from the alternator go through that relay and then through the output cable on the top, which then go to my leisure battery. And I've got another fuse at that end. So the split charge relay, positive in, positive out, and then a negative earth ground wire, which is the thin one. And it's also very good and very good practice if you, when you wire your battery in and you put your positive terminal on your battery, you also put the same 16mm squared negative earth cable to the body and the rear of the back of the van on the floor beside your battery. And you do that by using a Dremel or a grinder or a sanding block, and you remove some of the paint and the coating on the metal floor to create a bare, clean, smooth area. And then using a good quality nut and bolt, actually bolt your lug down for your negative earth cable to the floor, or an existing factory welded rivet or nut in the body of the rear of the vehicle, and tighten it down. Do not use self-tapping screws or Tech screws that are roofing screws, because you're not going to get a big enough cross section and area to transfer the current and the charge to your battery. I had a comment from another subscriber or a viewer saying that he's got a van with a smart I think he said he had a back-to-back charger in there, and he was on about asking questions on how does he wire in his pump, because he's worried about the current and it melting wires. So reference a newer vehicle, you need to have a back-to-back charger, which you can run directly off the alternator. Some you can run off the other battery terminal, but you still need to have a secondary auxiliary leisure battery. You can't go wiring a shurflo pump and a Spring Europe Ltd controller just into a back-to-back charger. You cannot wire your Spring pump controller or your pump directly into your vehicle starter battery. You must have and need an additional leisure battery in the back of the vehicle. I hope this video makes sense and it clarifies a few things, and I've tried to simplify it in the way that I'm communicating that information. It's a bit easier to see, and I'll do some more videos of me going through my van and showing as much of my cabling and my connections to my charging system for everybody to see, so you have a bit more of a visual representation and a training aid. But just remember, for a water-fed pole window cleaning system, you need starter battery, charging system, whether that be a back-to-back charger or a split charge relay, and then a leisure battery. And you must use fuses. Get a proper high quality fuse block that you can put maxi blade fuses in. Stay away from Amazon and eBay. Don't buy cheap rubbish, because it will burn and melt. Use people like 12 Volt Planet, Vehicle Wiring Products Limited, Durite, and get yourself a decent 4-way fuse block, and do all your wiring and your connections and terminations correctly to mitigate the risk of electric short circuits, fire, etc. But I hope the video helps you. Subscribe, support the channel, help it grow, press the bell icon for notifications. Check out the playlists on vehicles and vehicle wiring for other videos that may be of use and help you. But thank you for watching AW Services.